I'm organizing the stack of mail on my desk when I spot an envelope from Bellamy Gardens, the most exclusive wedding venue in town. The name alone makes me pause. Their reputation for luxury is legendary, the kind of place booked years in advance by people whose budgets rarely include limits. Strange, I don't remember receiving anything from them before. The envelope is heavy, thick cream paper with embossed lettering that feels expensive beneath my fingertips. I slide my finger carefully under the sealed flap and draw out a neatly folded contract, the elegant letterhead catching the soft morning light streaming through my apartment window. The faint aroma of freshly brewed coffee lingers in the air, grounding me for only a moment before everything begins to shift. My coffee cup halts halfway to my lips as my eyes move down the page. The words blur slightly, then sharpen again. There it is. My signature at the bottom of a contract authorizing payments totaling $76,000 for my sister Destiny's wedding. Except it isn't my signature, not truly. The loops are exaggerated, far more rounded than the way I normally write. The angle of the letters slopes too sharply to the right. It's a convincing copy, skilled enough to fool anyone unfamiliar with my handwriting, but I'd know my own signature anywhere. I've signed my name thousands of times. On documents, checks, cards, contracts, this imitation carries subtle tells, tiny differences that scream the truth. The room tilts slightly as understanding crashes over me with crushing force. This is Destiny's work. I recognize the distinct curls she adds to the ends of letters, the way she places the dots over her eyes slightly off-center to the right. She's forged my name, on a contract for $76,000. My fingers lose all sensation. The coffee cup slips from my grasp, striking the hardwood floor with a sharp crack before shattering. Dark liquid spreads across the boards and splashes over my bare feet, but I barely register the sensation. This can't be happening, I whispered to the empty room. My hands tremble as I grab my phone and dial the number printed at the top of the contract. My pulse pounds violently, each beat echoing in my ears as the call connects. Bellamy Gardens, how may I help you? A cheerful voice answers. This is Andy Collins, I manage, my voice sounding strangely thin and high. I'm calling about a wedding contract for Destiny Collins. Oh, Miss Collins, yes, we're absolutely thrilled about your sister's special day. Everyone here has been talking about your incredibly generous gift. It's not often we see such a touch and gesture between siblings. My generous gift? The one I never agreed to give? The one I explicitly refused? A tear slips down my cheek before I can stop it. Thank you, I choke out, ending the call before my voice betrays me further. I collapse into my chair as memories surge forward uninvited. 16-year-old me working exhaustive double shifts at the neighborhood ice cream shop, while Destiny spent her afternoons lounging beside the community pool. My graduation money disappearing into her spring break trip to Cancun. The countless loans that were never repaid, vanishing into the endless void of her desires. You're the responsible one, Mom would say, presenting it as praise when it felt more like a permanent burden. Destiny's just finding herself. 2 months ago at Sunday dinner, Destiny had flashed her enormous engagement ring while Dad looked at me expectantly across the table. We were thinking, he'd said casually, refilling his wine glass, since you've got that promotion coming, you could help give your sister the wedding she deserves. I had felt the weight of every gaze fixed on me, waiting. My hands trembled beneath the table as I spoke. I can't afford that. I'm still paying off my student loans. The silence afterward had been suffocating. Mom's disappointed sigh, Dad's stern expression. Destiny's winded pout. Family takes care of family, Dad had declared firmly, his voice carrying the authority that had shaped our entire childhood. That's how we raised you. Mom had reached across the table, patting my hand gently. Don't you want your sister to be happy? After everything you've accomplished, surely you can handle this one thing. But you have that promotion coming, Destiny had added brightly, as if my future income already belonged to her. The venue deposit is due next week. In that moment, I had seen myself clearly, not as a daughter or sister, but as a source of funds, a living resource to be accessed whenever Destiny desired something new. Now, staring at the forged contract, my phone chimes with a new email notification. I glance down at the subject line. Interior design position. Charleston office interested in your portfolio. Eleanor from work had mentioned the opportunity last week. 3 states away. A chance to begin again. I run my finger over the forged signature once more. Years of sacrifice, of placing my needs last, of being dependable, and this is my reward. Theft. Fraud. This ends now, I whisper, feeling something inside me shift into something unfamiliar yet powerful. Sleep refuses to come that night. At 3 a.m, my laptop screen casts a pale glow across my face as I comb through years of emails. My fingers feel detached, mechanical, as I type wedding into the search bar. The results populate slowly. Buried among promotional emails and Pinterest notifications, I find a thread between Mom, Dad, and Destiny, dated 2 months earlier. The subject line reads, Andy's contribution. My stomach tightens as I open it. She'll give in eventually, Mom had written. She always does. Remember when she said she wouldn't pay for Destiny's car repairs? A week later, she wrote the check. Destiny's reply follows. If not, we'll figure something out. She's got the credit for it. A wave of nausea crashes through me. They hadn't been asking for help. They had been planning to take it regardless of my answer. They've been manipulating me for years, I whisper into the stillness. I create a new spreadsheet titled Family Loans and begin documenting every financial sacrifice with meticulous precision. Bank statements, credit card records, old emails. Each entry marks a broken promise, an unpaid debt. By sunrise, the total at the bottom reads $42,387, and now a $76,000 wedding venue added to the sum. The Christmas memory surfaces, Destiny borrowing my credit card for just one small gift for Mom. The January statement revealed thousands spent at designer boutiques. At 9 that morning, my phone buzzes with a message from Destiny. Just saw the bridal suite at Bellamy. It's incredible. Thinking we should upgrade the flower package too. Only an extra 1,000. Thoughts? I don't respond. 20 minutes later, Mom calls. Andy, honey, did you see Destiny's message about the flowers? The venue needs confirmation tomorrow. I'm not paying for flowers, Mom. Her heavy sigh travels through the phone. This attitude isn't like you. What will people think if Destiny's wedding looks cheap? Everyone's talking about your generosity. I never agreed to pay for anything. Family supports family, she replies quietly. That's how we raised you. I just hope you're not becoming one of those selfish career women who forget where they came from. After the call, I check my credit score. It has dropped nearly 40 points. A hard inquiry from Bellamy Gardens appears, along with a new line of credit. They aren't just forging my signature. They're using my financial identity. Later that day, Eleanor calls about the Charleston position. The salary is higher, the opportunity genuine, the distance from my family promising relief. For the first time in days, hope flickers. When I tell James what happened, he responds without hesitation. That's exploitation. That's a crime. What if I just left? I ask. Honestly, it might be your only option. Days pass in a blur of preparation, documentation, and quiet resolve. I schedule an interview. I gather evidence. I imagine a life where my income belongs solely to me. Sunday dinner at my parents' house feels like stepping into a carefully prepared performance. Relatives praise my supposed generosity, congratulating me for funding Destiny's entire wedding. My parents repeat fabricated stories of my enthusiasm. Destiny parades expensive plans, assuming my financial backing is fact.
The weight of their expectations presses down on me, but something inside remains firm and unyielding. Monday arrives. During lunch, I sit in my car and interview with Gregory Winters, creative director at Charleston Home and Design. My voice remains steady as I discuss my work, my goals, and my salary expectations. For once, I do not apologize for wanting more. He seems impressed. We'll be in touch very soon, he promises. That week, I prepare for confrontation, gathering documents and evidence. Saturday brunch brings an uninvited wedding planner carrying invoices requiring my approval. I photograph every page, each fraudulent charge strengthening my resolve. James brings legal research. Eleanor sends apartment listings in Charleston. A small one-bedroom with a balcony captures my attention. The distance from my family feels invaluable. The official email arrived to my private email account on Tuesday morning, and I got the job. The salary matches what I requested. The start date is 3 weeks away. I drive to an empty parking lot to make the call. I'm delighted to accept, I tell Gregory, my voice strong and certain. That night, I digitally sign a lease agreement for the Charleston apartment. The move-in date aligns perfectly with my escape plan. 2 more weeks until I escape, I whisper to my reflection. Standing in my apartment on Friday night, I survey what I've built through years of hard work. The vintage desk I refinished myself, the watercolor I splurged on after my first promotion, the bookshelf filled with design references. On my dresser sits a photo from my design school graduation. I'm beaming, proud and hopeful, unaware of how my family would use that hope against me. Tears slide down my cheeks, but they feel different, cleansing rather than broken. I deserve to keep what I've earned, I say aloud to the empty room. The weekend becomes a strategic operation. I record Mom discussing Andy's contribution to the wedding. I organize bank statements showing unusual charges. I document every text where I explicitly refuse to pay. Monday morning, I call a moving company. We need to schedule for a specific time, I explain.
The 14th, around noon. We can do that, the scheduler confirms. Any particular reason for the precise timing? Yes, I say, drafting an email to the Bellamy Gardens venue explaining the signature forgery. My family will be at a cake tasting. The moving day arrives with perfect weather. From my window, I watch Mom's SUV pull away with Dad, Destiny, and the wedding planner inside. My phone vibrates continuously with Destiny's messages about fondant options. 10 minutes later, the moving truck rumbles into the parking lot. I take a deep breath, my hand on the doorknob. The movers head up the stairs as my phone lights up again. 7 missed calls from Destiny in the last 3 minutes. The game is beginning. I smile and open the door to my future. We'll start with the labeled boxes, I tell the 2 men in matching blue uniforms. My voice sounds foreign to my ears. Steady, authoritative. Nothing like the hesitant murmur I've used around my family for 27 years. Inside, I hand the movers a detailed floor plan while dialing my landlord. Mr. Peterson answers on the second ring. I've documented the identity theft situation, I explain, sliding the folder of evidence into my messenger bag. The lease break fee should be waived under tenant protection laws. Wouldn't want this happening to my own daughter, he says after reviewing my documents. I'll have the paperwork ready tomorrow. I hang up, a small victory warming my chest. The movers work with military precision, wrapping my carefully curated furniture pieces while I sit cross-legged on the floor, laptop balanced on my knees. With a few keystrokes, I transfer my accounts to the Charleston branch. Another click cancels my credit cards, requesting new numbers for the replacements. My phone buzzes. Mom's name flashes on the screen, the 5th call in 30 minutes. I silence it, but seconds later, the voicemail notification appears. Andrea Collins. Mom's voice wavers between anger and panic. Where are you? The venue needs decisions on lighting packages by 3. Call me immediately, Jetter. 3 more voicemails follow in quick succession. I play each one, recording them as evidence, as the movers empty my bedroom. My phone pings with a text from Destiny. What the hell, Andy? The venue says you haven't confirmed anything. I swear, if you ruin this for me, I'll never forgive you. 10 seconds later. Answer your damn phone. 20 seconds. After everything we've done for you, this is how you repay us? Each message forms another link in a chain of evidence. I save them all. Dad's voice booms from the next voicemail. Family takes care of family, Andrea. You have responsibilities here. Don't make me come find you. K. I save this one twice. As I pack other boxes, the buzzing pauses long enough for me to check Facebook. Mom's status update appears at the top of my feed. Heartbroken when children forget where they come from, after everything we sacrifice as parents. Comments flood in beneath it. My college roommate, Lisa, writes, Andy is the most responsible person I know. There must be some misunderstanding. My cousin Jennifer chimes in. Wait, I thought the wedding was being scaled back. Aunt Carol told me it was costing over $70,000? Destiny's bridesmaid Tara asks, who's paying for all this? I thought Andy was just handling the coordination, not the cost. I smile as the first cracks appear in their carefully constructed narrative. My phone rings again, James this time. The truck with your bookshelf and desk just left my place, he says. Everything's secure in my spare room until you're... Thanks, James. I don't know what I... Stop. You'd do the same for me, he pauses. Eleanor called. Your office is ready whenever you arrive. The weight on my shoulders lightens for the first time in months. Your new landlord emailed, James continues. She's fine with the early move-in, and Sarah from college says her guest room is yours for the transition week. Tears blur my vision as I realize I'm not doing this alone. My laptop pings with an email notification. The wedding venue's logo appears in the subject line. Urgent, payment deadline notice. I open it, reading the polite but firm reminder that the next installment of $22,000 is due in 3 days, or the reservation will be canceled. My phone buzzes with a text from my mother's friend who works at the catering company. Your mom asked me to extend the deposit deadline again. I can't keep doing this, Andy. Business is business. Another notification. A message from Destiny's future mother-in-law. Andy, as parents, we are concerned about the wedding finances. Could we discuss this before Sunday's dinner? My stomach flips as I realize how quickly their house of cards is collapsing. Later, while the movers load the last of my belongings, a text from Destiny's roommate pops up. Just for your information, Destiny's crying in her room about possibly having to cancel the florist and photographer. I take a deep breath as I prepare to walk out of my apartment for the last time. My gaze catches on the lone coffee mug I've left behind, the one that shattered the morning I discovered the forged contract. I've glued it back together,
leaving visible cracks running through the ceramic. It sits on the counter with a note. Some things, once broken, can never be the same. Have you ever had to walk away from a situation to protect yourself? What gave you the courage? 4 days after moving, the text messages arrive like a swarm of hornets. 23 in the first hour after Mom discovers my empty apartment. 37 more by nightfall. How could you abandon your family? Mom writes. Dad's voice crackles through my voicemail. There could be legal consequences for backing out now, Andy. Think about what you're doing. I place my phone on the coffee table of my new Charleston apartment, watching it vibrate with incoming calls. The late afternoon sun casts long shadows across the hardwood floors. I've been here exactly 4 days, and already it feels more like home than any place I've lived before. Aunt Meredith calls next. Your mother is hysterical, dear. Everyone's so confused about what's happening with the wedding.
Can't you just come to your senses? I let her message play to completion, noting how easily my relatives have been enlisted as reinforcements. The calendar on my kitchen wall shows the wedding date circled in red, 1 week from today. My phone lights up with Destiny's name. Against my better judgment, I answer. You selfish, ungrateful witch, she hisses. After everything we've done for you. Everything you've done for me? I repeat, my voice steady in a way that surprises me. Pay for the wedding or you're dead to me, she says. Simple as that. That's your choice to make. I end the call before she can respond. My laptop screen glows as I open my email. The document I've spent weeks preparing is attached, ready to send. I click on it one last time, reviewing each element. Formal letter to Bellamy Gardens explaining the forged signature. Handwriting analysis report highlighting the differences between my signature and the forgery. Audio file of Destiny telling her maid of honor I signed Andy's name as a favor to push things along. I press send. Within the hour, my phone rings with an unfamiliar number. The venue manager's voice is professionally restrained, but I hear the underlying tension. Miss Collins, we've received your email. This is highly unusual. We'll need to speak with your sister and parents immediately. I understand, I say. I've also notified my lawyer to contact the credit bureaus. The contract was signed without my consent or knowledge. After the call ends, I draft one more email, this one to my extended family. I keep my explanation dignified, factual. No accusations, just evidence. I attach copies of text messages where I explicitly refuse to pay, bank statements showing the pattern of financial exploitation, and the venue's confirmation that the signature doesn't match my identification. My phone begins ringing again almost immediately, but not with the calls I expect. It's my cousin Thomas. Holy smokes, Andy. The venue just called Uncle Jim demanding immediate payment or they'll cancel everything. What's going on? Ask Destiny, I say. Or better yet, ask her fiancé's parents. I believe they've just been informed about the forged contract. Over the next few hours, reports filter in through family text chains, wedding guests receiving postponement notices, my parents frantically calling relatives asking for emergency loans, Destiny in tears at the florist, canceling the exotic arrangements, the groom's father insisting on a prenuptial agreement. When my phone finally goes silent around midnight, I pour a glass of wine and step onto my small balcony. The Charleston night air wraps around me like a warm blanket. For the first time in years, my shoulders aren't tight with tension. When I call Destiny the next morning, she answers on the first ring. Come to apologize? Her voice is rough from crying. No, I say, the word clean and simple on my tongue. I forgive you, but I won't forget. You've ruined everything. I've started over, I correct her. Charleston is beautiful. My new firm values my work. My apartment gets morning sunny. We're your family, she whispers. The wedding bill is the consequence of your choices, not mine, I say. Maybe it's time you learned what that feels like. I end the call before she can respond, placing my phone back on the counter. According to James, who still lives in my old city, my parents spent yesterday meeting with loan officers. Destiny has downsized from 8 bridesmaids to 4. The extravagant ice sculpture has been canceled, along with the fireworks display and the designer gown. My mother's final voicemail arrives that evening as I'm arranging books on my new shelves. Andy, she begins, her voice catching. We never meant for it to go this far. I let the message play to its end, then delete it without replying. Outside my window, the sun sets over Charleston, painting the sky in colors I never saw in my old life. Some bridges burn for a reason. I close my eyes and breathe deeply, feeling the weight of 76,000 expectations finally lifting from my shoulders. 3 months later, the morning light streams through my Charleston apartment windows, catching the spines of my design books as I arrange them on the reclaimed wood shelves. 3 months ago, these same books were packed in hurried desperation. Today, they stand as colorful sentinels of my new life. I smooth my hand over the coffee table I found at a local antique market, feeling the grain of the wood beneath my fingertips. My apartment is modest, but mine, truly mine, with no financial ghosts lurking in the corners. My phone buzzes with a project. I adjust my blazer, catch my reflection in the hallway mirror, and notice something different in my posture. My shoulders no longer hunch forward, carrying the invisible weight of family obligation. The southern sunrise bathes my small balcony in gold as I sip my coffee. The lightness I feel isn't just the absence of debt, it's the presence of possibility. 3 months into my new position, Marcus, the senior designer, leans against my desk on Friday afternoon. "Andy, we need these concept boards finalized for Monday's presentation. I know it's your weekend, but..." He trails off, expectation hanging in the air. "I'm sorry, but I have plans this weekend," I reply, surprised by the steadiness in my voice. "I'd be happy to come in early Monday to help finalize everything." His eyebrows lift slightly. "Really? I figured you'd be all about some brownie points." "I value my personal time," I say, the word no resting comfortably on my tongue instead of sticking in my throat like it used to. "I'll deliver excellent work during work hours." Later, walking along King Street, I marvel at how easily that boundary formed. No rehearsal needed, no guilt afterward. My therapist calls this progress. Dr. Levine's office has become a weekly sanctuary where family patterns are dissected with clinical precision. "The first time you say no is the hardest," she told me during our initial session. "Each time after gets a little easier." My journal entries confirm this. The first week in Charleston, woke up panicking about money. Last week, spent the whole day exploring without checking my phone once. The genuine laughter that bubbles up during lunch with my new colleagues startles me. At first it sounds foreign to my own ears after so many months of tension. My housewarming gathering is small but vibrant a week later. Eleanor flew down for the weekend, bringing a potted fiddle leaf fig that now stands proudly by my living room window. James sent a care package with a handwritten note. "Proud of you" doesn't begin to cover it. Eleanor raises her glass to new beginnings and true family, the kind we choose. I blink back tears, realizing family isn't always determined by blood, but by who shows up when it matters. When Tara, our junior designer, confides about a client demanding extra revisions without payment, I recognize the familiar pattern. "Your work has value," I tell her, sharing my boundaries without sharing my scars. "And so do you." The satisfaction of helping someone avoid the path I traveled feels like closing a circle. When the email with pictures of Destiny's significantly downsized wedding appears on my screen, I feel no surge of vindication. I simply send a congratulations card online and continue with my day. The absence of anger surprises me most, not because I've forgiven, but because I've moved beyond needing to. At sunset, I stand at the Charleston waterfront, the letter from my mother heavy in my hands. The envelope contains the first hints of genuine remorse I've seen in years. I don't rush to respond. The guilt that would have consumed me months ago has been replaced by quiet acceptance. "Some bridges burn for a reason," I whisper to the horizon, watching the sun sink into the harbor. The water stretches endlessly before me, full of directions I might choose to sail. Is forgiveness always necessary for healing? Or is sometimes walking away the greatest gift you can give yourself? I don't know the answer yet, but for the first time I have the space to figure it out on my own terms.